Yeah, so I'm rambling a bit, and probably because I needed to. Also, it's nice to just ramble. I know that no one's listening, no one's watching, or at least a few people are, and that's enough, if any. So, yeah, it was playful. At least I wanted to, but then with the brain damage that, again, the doctors say I don't have, won't give me any medications for. And again, just a little bit of the irony of having nerve damage on my neck, but not getting any medication for it, like pregabs, which work actually. They won't prescribe me those because I might use them for recreational purposes. But heroin addicts get them for free, and all heroin addicts are recreational users. Um, so yeah, you can just tell there is a lot of anger about how the system is broken and fixed into the game of those people. And when I was on, when I still am homeless, I still am on the street essentially. I'm in a hostel at the moment, but the winds change a lot out here. Nevertheless, um, yeah, those are paid gangs uh, who usually have a way into the NHS via some nurses or doctors who are more than willing to trade prescription drugs for heroin, which is basically how they make their money legally. Um, they pay for the heroin addictions because it's all off the books, basically. Um, and the heroin addicts get whatever medications they want. Um, and it's just the kind of level of corruption uh, that we're facing on a systemic level, which is quite the cancers at that point is basically beyond fixable because essentially, you've got women and men who are trading sex and drugs for favors of drugs, and basically, um, yeah, if you and it depends on the level of game you play, I suppose. If you're very rich, you probably get your heroin for very clean and very free. And if you're poor, you probably hide it in an oven, like that one guy who was found with hundreds of thousands worth of pounds of heroin. But it's easy for him to go into the doctors and go, "Hey, you've got a heroin addiction. I'll give you your heroin. Just give me all the prescription medication I want." And they go, "Yeah, sure, okay, fine. I'm a doctor. I'm a nurse. I can do that." But with someone with an actual genuine medical condition, where where drugs like pregabs would help, or cannabis oil helps, I'm denied it because I might use it for recreational use. So you have to go to the street and you have to go up to the heroin addicts and you have to risk your life to try and get these pregabs, which you should be able to get on the NHS for free, or at least a prescription, uh, and you can't. You've got to risk your life talking to a heroin addict to get them. So yeah, and to be fair, when you're in a lot of pain and the guy's selling you heroin as well, and you're like, heroin, well, fuck it, you're homeless, and heroin doesn't do anything. Like, I mean, it does kill the pain, numbs the pain, but uh, I've seen people screaming, I'm sick, I need my hit, and I just don't get it. I don't understand it. Um, I've done a lot of drugs, okay, um, like boredom, recreational use, yeah, especially with drugs like heroin. Um, I never felt like I needed that next hit so badly that I would go and mug a granny, or that I would go and rob a shop or stab someone up. I never felt that I needed that much. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, I don't get this whole I'm sick, I'm sick. It's a sickness. So there's another kind of like crack in their game as well, because essentially they're lying about it being a sickness to people who are ignorant about heroin and how it works. So they're like, it's a sickness. Can't you see how it affects me? I need my medicine, right? It is medicine. But the problem is, heroin's a very good medicine. And if you're using it for recreational uses, then you're a selfish asshole and you're not giving it to people and you're selling it to try and make money. And you've got some insides into the NHS who are more than willing to prostitute themselves at the weekends for heroin and write prescriptions. Fair enough. But that's what I'm talking about the cancer being so deep and so convoluted at this point. There's no point in getting angry about it, because it's like that's what people like that are going to do. That's how you can spot a narcissist. Because, for example, there was a story about a boy, 14-year-old boy, going around to feed his weed addiction. He was robbing, he was stealing, he was breaking into people's houses, he was mugging people. There was violence, and he was 14 years old until his parents were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to lock him up." Lock him up in juvenile, basically. Uh, you know, that's the kind of personality. That's a narcissistic personality, a malignant narcissistic personality in play. Yeah, it's not weed, but then someone will take that and go, "Oh, that's because of weed. Let's ban weed." You see, and that again plays into the narcissist's game of left and right, of black and white, of there are no nuance and there is no right. There's only right and wrong. And someone was like, "Oh, well, I'm glad you like my black and white." And I'm like, "Not really. It's pretty shit, to be honest, mate. But whatever." Which angered him, because obviously he's a narcissist and he only sees things in black and white. So he's incapable of nuance and critical thought. Like he's capable of being black and white thought, but he's not capable of anything much more. So yeah, if you're talking to someone who's speaking on a black and white level, don't bother with it, really. It's pretty pointless. The whole point of having that brain damage, not getting the help that I need, being socially ostracized, being singled out, being bullied. And actually, when Kanye West came out, and it was actually poignant, because I do laugh at him like a clown, but then he got up on stage and he was like, "They bully me backstage," and he was dead serious. I could see the look in his eyes. He was almost about to cry. He was like, "They bully me backstage. They bully me because I'm wearing a MAGA hat." And I was like, what must that feel like for a genius child like Kanye, who is a genius? If you've seen some of the stuff he's done, it's amazing. He's very talented. How isolated he feels being bullied. Even if he has a lot of yes men around him, his peers, the people who he looks up to, are bullying him. They're bullying him on purpose, because he doesn't fit into their ideology for whatever reason. And so he's isolated in his peer group. And that's sad. He feels like the only person he can speak to is Donald Trump. That's sad, because not simply because it's just isolating, but because it's like, wow, you needed someone to come to do that much just to feel like you're not alone. And that's why Trump won as well, because he made those people who are not feeling alone, to not feel alone anymore. So that was indicative of inclusion, where they've been excluded before for this political agenda. And the political agenda is broken now. So, that's never going to happen. Yeah. Basically, I'm running out of time again.